today I'm heading up scouting looking for some elk. I've got an antlerless tag in Utah here, and today's actually, haven't done any recordings yet. We've been waiting for the snow to push the elk down, and so today's actually the last day of this area for the antlerless elk hunt. So I'm heading up today. Buddy's already up there. It took me a while to get. I couldn't find my binoculars, so heading up today to do some see if we can find something. And friends said that they hadn't seen any yet. Not a lot of snow yet. I mean, there is with a really super high elevation, but what we usually do is we wait for the snow to push the elk down to this public area that we head up to. And so far reports are that there's a couple bull elk up there, but they antlerless, and the cows just haven't come down yet. So looks like most likely be a bust for this year, but heading up. It's fun to scout, record this anyway. So alright, take you along a little bit. Just want to let you know what's going on here, and we'll update you. So heading up in this area here. There's a rest stop up in here. We go around just seeing this from the distance, and we're going to be going up in this area here. Just talked to some guys too driving down the road here, and nobody's seeing anything, but we'll go have a little bit of look. It'll be a fun anyway. So anyway, not much finding here, but I did find this deer there right in the middle of the screen. It's not much up here, but there's a deer bedded right there. That's about the only thing I've seen so far. It's a doe. Actually not far off the road. There is another deer. Yeah, it's bouncing all over right there. Middle of the screen. There's actually a couple on this hillside here that I've picked out so far. They're just bedding in the sun, but blending in really well with the brush. So, anyway, this is picking up every little movement. There's another couple of them over in here. Very difficult to see though, because they're in the brush. I have to pull this out and try to get another better. So there's another one right there in the middle of the screen, another doe, and it's very hard to tell. You can kind of see just to the upper left, like pretty much from the doe in the middle of the screen just about up to the exact northwest. You can kind of see it walking right now, some light legs walking down to it. There's a fawn right there. He's out starting to graze in the sun. Pretty cool. The deer, actually, I'm finding there, at least these, and this is pretty common with does, the deer are fairly low. These are actually A lot of these deer, they're probably just within a couple hundred yards up off the freeway over there, so they're pretty comfortable down here, but just grazing feeding. There you go. You can see the fawn, the little yearling, walking out just below the, now just pretty much straight to the right. A couple more deer walking through. A little messed up there. Just behind that ridge. You see the movement. Interesting, they've been bedded down all day, and we're about noon. It's pretty cold there here though. It's about 16 degrees, and they're just starting to move. 16 degrees and some wind, so it's pretty cold. While I'm having to do this, with gloves on my hands, which is hard, but anyway, it's pretty cold. So they're just grazing in the sun, trying to keep warm. And there's another deer. Moved a little bit, but here's another deer. I'm trying to, oh, picked its head up. It's like it's a doe again. Used to be a few does out. But still looking. Another one here. More deer. Okay guys, here's our first buck. I actually found some elk just above this, came down and bumped into this buck right here. You can see its antlers. I think it's at least 2-point. I got a train going underneath my path here, but that is a buck. Trying to get a little bit better picture here. In up to his belly. Come on, walk out. There you go. See if I can zoom in anymore. Yes. He is a, looks like 3 on one side. Unfortunately for this right here, this is actually private property, and it's not hunting season, so sorry about the bounce of the camera here. I gotta get something to stabilize this more. We got 3 on one side, and waiting for him to turn his head so I can see what he's got on the other side. At least a 3x3. Pretty big bodied. So I could zoom in on those antlers really quick there. This shake's probably driving you nuts. I need to get a new mount. Anyway. Okay, this is really tricky here. But right in the middle of the screen, you can see a big dark blob. That big dark blob is a rock. To just down to the, at about 45 degrees to the left, down, is another blob. That blob is a cow elk. unfortunately, she's on private property. And it looks really... Yeah, that's an elk. See the dark neck to the left? Anyway, this is a little tricky, really shaky here again. Sorry. I'm trying to get this the best I can here. Every time I put my phone scope on, it weighs it down. It tips the tripod on my window mount for my phone, for my scope, down just a bit. Oh, now that's starting to look more like a deer. Is that another? There was an elk in there when I was setting up. Get this so you guys can see this better. And like I said, my little mount thing here is quite jiggly. There it is. Oh. Have to see. I don't know. There was a couple animals in there, some deer and an elk, and I was pretty sure that was an elk. I have to push it up a little bit and then settle it down. There we go, that's a better picture. It's still shaky, sorry. I don't have this on a tripod, it's on a mount on my windshield, on my door. So any little shakes picking it up. It's kind of weird because I look through my scope and it looks like a... It looks like a... it's looking more like a mule deer. I think I missed the elk. Like I said, there are 3 or 4 animals in there. One of them I know was a cow elk. And by the time I got this thing set up, the white in the ears there are starting to make me think more deer. But my window mount here doesn't seem to be as steady when it comes to using the phone scope. So anyway, maybe go back and see if we can get another picture of that other buck. Okay, here is another buck. Let's see if we can see what this one is. Car just passing by. At least a 3-point. I get nervous about even touching this camera because I got it steadied. Left the screen there. 4 by, there's 4 on one side. What is he gonna be? 4. I think it's a 4x4. Yep. 4x4. I hesitate to even touch this thing. There we go, that's a little bit better. Nice long tines. Really good 4x4 there. Nice buck, nice symmetrical. Symmetrical, typical buck. We're actually having some decent, obviously almost mid-January. I don't know if we're going to get a lot more storms here, but snow's not too deep. It's bad because it's not pushing the elk down, but the animals are getting more to feed on, so hopefully we'll have a good survival rate.
the animals this year. Anyway, pretty cool, huh? Too bad it's not hunting season. That is a very nice buck. And too bad it's also, I'm pretty sure, not positive, haven't pulled out my Onyx maps for this area, but I'm pretty sure this is on private property. Interesting though, it's within probably a couple 100 yards off the road. It's come down quite a bit, but really nice buck. So, see what else we can see. It's another fairly nice buck looking at me. Another deer just down here. Where'd it go? Right there. I don't know if that's a buck. If it's a buck, yeah, it's a buck. Fairly small. But turn your head, buddy. How big are you? A little tall. Pretty symmetrical still. I could see at least 3 points. The way it's looking, and big bodied thing. He's just sitting there staring. Decent sized deer. Got some good bucks that are starting to come out. Fun to see the bucks anyway. Anyway, hope you're enjoying this. It's fun to do as well. I'm surprised from this far away. You can probably hear the freeway that's in between me. So I'm across the canyon. We're probably a couple, I guess it's only about 300 or 400 yards away. But he's on me like steel, because even from across the canyon. Anyway, see what else. Trying to get my scope on here fast enough. There's an elk right there in the middle of the screen, climbing up through the trees. Just about to go over the ridge. Bull elk. Looks like, if I remember, I think it was like a 3-point. Came across the clearing right there to the lower left. And he's moving up right there in the middle. So, he may have already climbed up through those trees. First sign of elk. Okay, I don't know if you can see it now. Zooming in right there. It's sitting right on top of that pine tree, that elk right there. Bull elk. Slowly move down. This is still private property. By the time this thing gets down to where I have my permit, it'll probably be February. The rate he's moving. See if I can catch any others here, but okay, I'm gonna try to get this. There's a big, huge bull up there. Well, relatively. Right there. Trying to see how many points he's got in the brush right there that he's Whoa, there's two of them. So 3-point. I'm trying to set my phone here, my scope. You might have to just deal with the shake. Not very big. 3-point and 1. I think the other one that just crawled up to the right, I think he's bigger. I didn't even know that the one on the left was up there. He just came out. Cool, cool. See if I can see any others up there. Okay guys, found another bull here. Right down. Oh, I thought I had it adjusted where it would sit right there. Lower middle of the screen. I'll try this one more time. Kind of a middle upper, a little bit to the right of the screen there. Walking through the trees. So they're coming down very slowly, but this the height of this, this guy's about 400 or 500 yards in there. He's in there quite a ways, and he's probably third of the way down from the ridge, from the top. Trying to see if I can see any more in there while you watch that one. But I don't think, I mean, first of all, I've only seen bulls. Now that I'm starting to get into the elk, I'm only seeing bulls. I don't see any cows. But looks like I'm finding where the bulls are still sitting. Like they if the winter keeps up the way it's going, probably got another month before these elk are down into the public lands. Tell you what though, I don't have a really strong history of doing this. I've always wanted to do more. Kids are getting older now. It's giving me a little bit more time. But, sorry. There we go. Trying to make sure my mount here is holding up well for you so you can get a steady picture. That looks like a 4-point. Just grazing as he's moving down. Tell you what, at least for me anyway, elk, when they're around, they're a lot easier to spot than deer are. A lot easier, it seems to me. Maybe I just got a better eye for elk than deer, but anyway. Hope you're enjoying some of this late season footage here. Trying to see if I can, while you're watching that one, see if I can see any others up the mountainside here. I'd hike in there to go after that if it was public. So far in this area is the only one I'm seeing. But I've seen now, I think I'm up to 4 elk. Pretty dry this morning, everything. It's coming down to evening, but still probably middle of the day, 3:30. Not a lot of elk. I'm not seeing any cows, like I said. He's working his way back in. Look a little bit longer here, and then we'll move down a bit. Hope you're enjoying it. All right, guys, here's a treat for you. Looks like we got 2 6-point bulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 6-point on the right. I believe the one on the left's a 6-point. Might be a 5-point. And then there is another bull right there. Let's see, I think there's some more up there. Look with binoculars while I'm letting you watch the elk there. He's moving. How big is he? He is at least a 4.5 point. Those are some big elk. I think that one's the biggest. Trying to adjust my scope right so that it settles on these for you. One, two, three. That's a 6-point bull right there. I think he's the biggest in the batch. Yeah, I'm looking through my binoculars while it's on the scope there. And the one on the left, I think is a 4, you got like a 4, 5, 6-point there. Still, no cow elk. See some deer in there and some of the surrounding areas. Let me zoom out a bit here for you so you can see. I think that other one was coming in with them. Yep. Turn that just a touch. Yeah, I don't see, looking up the side of the mountain, still no cows. I think we're up to, let's see, 7 bulls that I've seen on this trip. I have never, be honest, guys, if we're looking at this, I have never gotten elk before. And, hey, we're going to change that around soon here. Going to get out and do more scouting more often, and kids are older, will let me do that. Some of the kids come with me. But, a couple of does up there too, but anyway, pretty sweet elk there. This elk, I hope he turns around again, because he was pretty big. I think he may have been, he was at least a 6. There's another one that I saw up there next to him, and he came out and this guy's skylined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-pointer. He's got a long gap between his 3 and 4. It's almost his beams on his antlers remind me of a caribou a little bit. There is a bull down just to the right of him, but he went around the corner. Still don't see the cows. Isn't that like that? Just during a hunting season, all the ones you're after disappear. There is another one, like I said, down to the, I'll see if I can get this one in. He's barely in the trees there. See if I can get this one. down here. I think he might be in there. There it is. See the rear end of the elk right there. I don't know if he'll come back around, but he was good size too. These guys, these elk here, are within about, top one's probably only about 40 yards from the top, and the bottom one is more around 70. And we got that one there. Well, guys, that's gonna be a wrap. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Got some good footage of some good elk for you and some pretty good bucks. No success on the hunting. Scouting was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Hope you liked the pictures. And do me a favor, if you like this video, and some of the others we do especially, but if you like this video, give me a thumbs up there, and go ahead and hit the subscribe button too, and we'll get more out to you. Anyway, enjoyed it, and come back for more. Thank you.